My car is eating me. I've been homeless for a little over a year now. Ruby, my '97 Honda Accord, has been my only constant through it all. When I lost my apartment, my job, and most of my friends, she was still there. She's old, yeah, and probably not worth much to anyone else, but to me, she's everything. She's the only thing keeping me off the streets, the only thing keeping me alive. I've grown attached to Ruby in ways I'd never thought possible. Maybe that sounds weird, but when you spend this much time with something, depending on it day in and day out, you start to feel like it's a part of you. Or maybe you're a part of it. But lately, I don't know how to explain it. Something's been happening. Something that doesn't feel right. It started small. At first, I noticed faint impressions on my skin in the mornings, patterns from the fabric of the seat. That made sense. I was sleeping in the driver's seat most nights, curled up in ways that can't be good for my body. But then the marks started getting deeper. Like, too deep. Not just surface level indentations, but grooves in my skin that didn't go away for hours. Then one morning, I woke up and realized I couldn't move my arm. It was stuck to the seat. Like, actually stuck. I tried pulling it free and it felt wrong. My skin didn't just lift off, it stretched. It was like peeling off a band-aid, except it wasn't adhesive, it was me. There was this awful, wet, tearing sound as I yanked myself loose. My arm stung all day, and when I looked back at the seat, I saw this faint pink patch left behind. I told myself it was just friction. Heat, sweat, pressure. It had to be something like that. But it's been happening more and more. Every time I wake up, there's something new. A part of my leg fused to the upholstery. The side of my face stuck to the headrest. I've started keeping a bottle of water nearby just to pour over myself when it happens. The water seems to help loosen the bond, but it doesn't stop it from happening again. And it's not just the sticking. It's more than that. The other night, I noticed something strange about my left thigh. The skin felt thicker, rubbery. When I pressed into it, it didn't feel like flesh anymore. It felt like vinyl, like the seat beneath me. I've been wearing jeans most days, so I didn't even notice at first. But when I rolled up the fabric to look, I almost threw up. The skin on my thigh wasn't skin anymore. It was the same dull gray as Ruby's seats. The same texture, the same stitching. I sat there for hours, staring at it, rubbing at it, scratching until my nails broke the skin. But nothing changed. It didn't bleed, it didn't hurt. It was just there. Like it had always been a part of me. Every day, it's worse. I could feel Ruby on me, in me, even when I'm not touching her. When I'm out of the car or walking to a gas station for food or trying to find a quiet spot to park, I feel this pull. Like she's calling me back. Like I'm leaving something behind when I step away. A few days ago, I woke up and felt something pressing into my chest. When I sat up, I realized it wasn't just pressure. It was connected. The seatbelt had fused into my skin. I could see the faint outline of it stretching under my shirt, digging into me like roots. I tried to pull it free, but it wouldn't budge. I had to take a knife to it, cutting the belt where it met the buckle, and even then, I couldn't get the pieces out of me. They're still there now, buried beneath my skin. I don't know how to describe what's happening to me. My body doesn't feel like my body anymore. My joints ache in ways they shouldn't. My skin feels foreign, like it's hardening in places, softening in others. I can feel Ruby every time I move. This deep, stretching sensation. Like we're tethered together. I've stopped trying to sleep outside the car. The last time I did, my legs gave out the second I stepped onto the pavement. I felt like I was being torn in half, like parts of me were still inside Ruby, refusing to let go. I had to drag myself back into the seat. The moment I sat down, the pain vanished. I can't leave her. I don't mean that figuratively. I physically can't. Every time I try, my body fights me. My legs buckle, my chest tightens. Even thinking about leaving sends this wave of nausea through me, like I'm betraying something important, something alive. I've started finding pieces of myself inside the car, little patches of skin on the seats, flecks of hair woven into the fabric. The steering wheel has this faint, oily sheen now. When I touch it, I feel something. Warmth, pulsing, like it's alive too. I know what's happening. I just don't want to admit it. Ruby's eating me. She's breaking me down, piece by piece, pulling me into her. I can feel her growing stronger every day, and I can feel myself disappearing. I'm scared. I don't know how much longer I have left before there's nothing left of me but a stain on the seat. But the truth is, part of me doesn't even care anymore. Because for the first time in my life, I don't feel alone. Ruby's taking care of me, in her own way. And as much as I hate to admit it, I don't think I could live without her. Or maybe I should say, I don't think she'll let me. And that was My Car Is Eating Me by Oost6. It could be UST6, I apologize. I don't know which way it's pronounced. So, I like this story. I like this story because it is a situation that people don't really think could ever happen, right? And I think that's is the mystery of the whole situation. It makes you wonder, does every car have this capability? Is it just a matter of time spent in a car? Obviously, that's crazy. Of course it is. But in the world of horror, I suppose anything's kind of possible, right? But then it makes you wonder, well, is the car sentient? Is it alive? Is it a conscious thing? Is it an unconscious thing? How does all this stuff work? Is something else making it happen? Your mind can race for a little while. Maybe not endlessly, but a little while, I would say. So I like the fact that obviously the conclusion at the end of it is that the car is eating him. It's not a weird fusion of sorts. It's not like he's being absorbed into the car and they're becoming two things in one body. It sounds more like he's just being completely eaten, digested, which is horrific. It's far more horrifying than just being fused together with something, although I think that's horrifying in a different kind of way. I'll stop rambling about that. It's really good. It's really good. It's not a very long story. It's a great little read. I've really enjoyed reading it, and I appreciate the chance to read this. It also makes me think of, obviously, Maximum Overdrive by Stephen King. Fantastic film, but that doesn't really have people being digested by cars and vehicles and the truck, obviously. It's more like just the fact that they're alive and evil, question mark. But then that makes you think of Decepticons, right? But not exactly the same. Some of you know what I'm talking about. But I'd say that the more closer thing that it really made me think of is in the show Aqua Teen Hunger Force. In season 11, there's this episode about a hairy bus. And anybody who goes inside the bus, they get digested. So I was like, well, that's hilariously very similar, except that bus is very sentient and it can talk and everything like that. It's got a twin brother. It's goofy. It's really goofy. Very funny, in my opinion. I mean, to some people it might not be, but whatever. Yeah, so I've had a great time reading this one, and I sure hope you have enjoyed it too. Let me know down below your thoughts. Let me know if this makes you think of anything else. I'd really like to hear your opinions and your ideas, especially if it's things that I haven't seen or read and that I should be checking out. Thank you yet again, Oost6, for this opportunity, and we will see you next time, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you to the YouTube and Patreon members who've been supporting this channel so far. This has been a fantastic effort. Thank you so much. I couldn't do any of this without your support, really. I really can't. Thank you. You can also show support through a donation at coffee.com/nateatnight, or whenever I'm live streaming through Super Chats of YouTube or through Twitch. And whenever you donate, I'll be sure to read your messages out on stream.